Hey everyone, welcome to 996 The Howl for the uninitiated. This is an unedited YouTube vlog discussing everything Arizona Coyotes. And remember these jerseys, remember scoring goals, and most importantly, remember winning hockey games. The Coyotes' first win in 5 games, a monstrous, monumental game, a playoff deciding game, so many playoff implications. The atmosphere was very heavy. The fans, the Gila River Arena, up to 50% capacity. The building was loving it. Such a great hockey game to watch, and one of a few we've got to experience in a long while. We haven't seen, such a great, game between two hockey teams in quite a while, and especially one where the Coyotes actually play good hockey. It didn't start out that way. Coyotes come out flat in the first 15 minutes, going down 2-0. Darcy Kuemper is back in net. I swear, Rick Tocchet is just like holding the cards with regards to his goalies. No one knew Kuemper was even ready until a couple hours before a puck drop, just like the case Wednesday afternoon with Antti Ranta, where he decided to throw in Ranta last minute. Darcy Kuemper, maybe a bit shaky in that first period. Yes, the first goal deflected off Jacob Chikrin's stick, and then the second goal, he let a huge, juicy rebound out to Tyler Bozak off his initial shot. But, Darcy Kuemper and the whole team just came out in the second, refreshed, refocused, and played their game for the next 2 periods. In the first period, the Coyotes were playing like they had in the past 5 games, reacting to other teams, playing on your heels, getting worked over in their own defensive zone. And then in the second period, the Coyotes started to take over. They started to let the other team play to their style. They were fast. They were first to pucks. They were winning board battles. They were playing with the puck, holding on to the puck, not dumping and chasing every time they got the puck. They didn't look tired at all, and they just, picked away at the game slowly, getting that first goal by, I actually forgot who scored. Keller scored the second goal, I know that. It's coming to me. It was Goligoski who got the first goal off a brilliant play by Schmaltz and Garland behind the net. Schmaltz, I thought he was going to actually pass to Keller on that play, who was on the other side of Binnington, but he decides to pass it to Goligoski, who was in the house all alone, and he scores. Great to get some offense from the defense. And then when it was 2-1, I thought this was the most pivotal moment in the game. It was Schwartz from the St. Louis Blues dekes around Lyubushkin and walks right in front of Kuemper, and Kuemper makes an unbelievable forearm save. But the commentators even act like it was a huge save. That save kind of went under the radar. But to me, any other goalie, if Adin Hill's in net or maybe Ranta, that's a goal. That's a good NHL player right in front of you with so much time and space. He's able to have the time to pick his shot, and Kuemper saves it, and that was 2-1. I felt if the game turned into 3-1, I don't think the Coyotes would have came back. That was around the time the Coyotes were just getting their momentum after scoring their goal to make it 2-1. And then from there, they picked away, Clayton Keller scoring the second goal. And then in the third period, we didn't see the Tocchet Turtle and Michael Bunting with his 7th goal in 9 games, his first home game. It was pretty unbelievable to see that stat, that he's played about 14 games in the NHL, and they've all been on the road. This team's been on the road a lot. Obviously, the past 9 games, they were on the road. It's their first game home in a long, long time. And to hear that goal horn, to hear the howl, it was just great to see. Great hockey to watch, and obviously such a good feeling for the team. They need to take away all the positives from this game. They need to look at the tape and see how they played. They were skating, they were first to pucks, making plays, and defensively sound as well. After that first period, they really shored it up in the second and third period, not letting the St. Louis Blues get too many chances. In the first period, you saw Torrey Krug walk around the ice, sort of owning the Coyotes' defensive zone. But then in later periods, you saw Tyler Pitlick do it to the St. Louis Blues, and Connor Garland, and the Coyotes started to have fun that the St. Louis Blues were having in the first period. So it was a huge game, a huge win against a team that's won the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. They're battling with the Coyotes for that final playoff spot. In the first period, I felt that this is a Stanley Cup team, that most of the players are still on that team. It's going to be really hard for the Coyotes to outplay the Blues, down the stretch to get that final playoff spot. But the second period and the third period really showed that the Coyotes are hungry. They really want it more than the Blues. They outplayed the Blues in 2 of the 3 periods. Not sure what the Blues were hoping to, after that second period. The Blues really played poor in the second and third, and you got to give all the credit to the Coyotes. They played extremely well. Some great hockey we haven't seen in a long time, and it makes me wonder what happened with the Blues. I think they came out to an early lead. They kind of inflated their egos and their heads a bit. Maybe they thought it would be an easy cakewalk game, and apparently not. The Coyotes gathered themselves up in the first, and from winning 3-2, it was a great comeback win. A bit nerve-wracking, going down 2-0, all that pessimism surrounding your head as a fan. Like, here we go again. So many times in recent memory have the Coyotes gone down early and fast, and it was looking just like one of those games. But with Kemper back in net, maybe he solves that problem. Maybe he gives the confidence back to the defense of the Coyotes. Maybe, the Coyotes become more comfortable with their starter goalie behind them instead of a guy like Hill, Prosvetov, or Ronta. Maybe, the 2 games against Minnesota next week, they're different games now that you have Kemper back in net. I believe Kemper's barely played against the Minnesota Wild. If anything, he played maybe the first 2 games against the Wild before going down to a 19-game injury. So maybe the Coyotes could, go toe-to-toe with the Wild now that they have their starter goalie. We'll see. Those are 2 big games next week against the Wild. They need to get points. I said it, before last week when they're about to face Vegas and Minnesota. They needed to get points, and they didn't at all. And now in this new week, they need to push those Minnesota games to overtime. The St. Louis Blues have 2 games in hand against the Coyotes. Their games have been postponed against the Avalanche due to COVID protocols. So we'll see. Maybe the Blues games against the Avalanche are pushed down further into the end of the season, where the Blues have to play a lot of back-to-backs or a lot of games in very few nights. So maybe that's also in favor of the Coyotes. So we'll see how that plays out. But the Coyotes cannot sleep against these 2 games against the Wild. They need to make a statement. They need those crucial points. Like I said, the Blues have 2 games in hand on them. Those 2 games against Minnesota, get points in those 2 games. And then when you face San Jose and the Los Angeles Kings near the end of the season, and you get those wins, those points against Minnesota are so much more important, and really propel yourself into the standings and into that final playoff spot. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word, and thank you for your support.